Welcome to an unboxing video from theplayersaid.com. My name is Grant. Today, I just received actually a Kickstarter copy, because this was a Kickstarter. I think it went in on Kickstarter in 22, just fulfilled over the past couple of months. The game is called Dutch Resistance, Orange Shall Overcome. The designer is Marcel Kohler, and the publisher is Liberation Game Design. I know a new company, and I think that this game is very cool. I think the concept is very cool. I think the way that it is executed seems to be fairly interesting. And it's a historically focused game, not necessarily a war game, but a historically focused game that covers the Dutch resistance to the German occupation during World War II in 42 and 43. So I think the players play as Dutch resistance members, and they are working together to sabotage the efforts and make life difficult for the occupying Germans. The game is beautiful. There's a lot in this box. Great art. Love the colors. Love the orange. Obviously, that was the color of the resistance. The game plays, it's a scenario-based game, but the game plays in 90 to 180 minutes. So you're talking, an hour and a half to 3 hours. You can play it solo. There is a solo mode and a solo variant. And then you can play with up to 5 players as well. But really nice looking product. Let's go ahead and look at the box back. There's a look at the board. That's actually the first component in the game because it was stacked on top. The biggest component in the game is a bunch of cards. You probably have almost 250 cards, as well as lots of tokens and counters, some tiles, some cubes, and then cylinders, and then meeples that represent your people. You also have dice. But you can see it's a big game, lots of table space, but very, very cool. Made in the Netherlands, designed by a Dutch individual, Marcel Kohler. Very much excited to play this one. We are actually going to, because this is a first printing copy and the game is sold out, we are working with Marcel to do a review video for his upcoming second printing Kickstarter, I believe, which starts on May the 7th. And it's GameFound. I said Kickstarter, it's going to be on GameFound. Anyway, let's go ahead, without further ado, let's go ahead and open the box. And it is a square box, and it's a big box. So you're gonna have a good time with this one because there's a lot of stuff in it. Let's go ahead. We're going to look at the board first. Typically, the board is one of the last things that we seem to look at. It's a big board. Many folds here. Trying to be very careful with it. It is a double-sided board. So I'm assuming, once again, as you play various scenarios, you're going to use one side or the other. Let's move it over kind of center frame. Like the artistic style. Obviously, this is the Netherlands. You can see the canals, the dikes, the bridges going over those canals, the city themselves, and then here you have the signature windmills. So there are a bunch of spaces where, I'm going to go ahead and dig those out, or at least one of them, where locations, these are the location tiles. This is the bank, and there's actually a spot where you're going to punch this out and then put your cubes in there, I think, to mark where it is, who's there, what's going on. I'll put that back. But these go in the different spaces, and they represent, once again, the areas that the players can go to. So that one's the bank. Here's the hospital. There's also the printer. I'm just trying to give you a look-see as to how they're going to, and I'm just putting them out randomly. Those are probably not the spaces. But you can see those are really big, thick cardboard tiles. They're dual-sided, in color, and very nice. I like the way they look and the way they feel. And you're going to place those out into those areas, and then you're going to move around the board trying to do different missions. It's, in essence, a pick up and deliver game. So you're going to be taking whatever, ammunition, supplies, demolitions, survivors, or assets here and there, all the while trying to avoid the German, I want to call them Stasi, secret police, but the occupiers. So that's a look at the board. Once again, double-sided. I'll flip this. Oh, I thought that came. No, they split down here. I don't want to mess with it because I don't want to do damage to it, and that one doesn't fold that way, so I'm going to stop. But it is a double-sided board. The next thing that you see are the scenario cards, and I believe there's 5 of them, yes. So here are the different scenarios. Scenario 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this one is 5. So there are a lot of different options. You can play through these. They have all different types of scenario actions, things that you're trying to accomplish. They have the lose conditions here. If any of the characters reach 0, I'm not sure what that 0 is, fortitude, health, whatever it might be. Your special rules are laid out. Love the thematic elements of this. And then here it has the active location is the church. Although it says no, not active here. Not really sure what that is. It's double-sided, so on the back, it expands upon the setup, the different and difficulty levels. You have basic, normal, hard, and then extreme. So that's good. You're going to have 5 scenarios, but you can also play them 5 different ways. So in essence, there's a lot more than 25 scenarios, basically. So that's really cool. It has placement of different things. So it's just very neat, and you can do those scenarios probably as a mini campaign as well, trying to, once again, liberate Holland from the clutches of the dastardly Nazis. Here is a rule book, and it's huge. Not huge in pages, but it's a very large rule book. Full color, fairly big text, lots of color examples, lots of overview, different elements put into boxes with icons. Looks to be very well put together. Has 20 pages, but as you can see, it's a big rule book. It's a square fitting the size of that box. But looks pretty cool. I was noticing when I was looking through earlier, there are simplified rules, so you don't have to add all the elements. I don't want to call them advanced rules necessarily, but there are options. So there's a look at all the components that you're going to have. There's a bunch in here, and we'll go through the box, but there's a whole bunch of counters. There's that board. Just looks really good. Yeah, I like the layout. I like the colors, and it looks like it's going to be fairly simple to pick up. Not sure the quality of the rule book as far as translation, but we will find that out. That's something that I'm interested and excited to do. I mentioned a lot of tokens and counters and buildings. There are 3 full, like, bifold cardboard things that have a bunch of counters on them, all different types. So this is where I took one of those buildings. I think that was the bank, came from here. But here you can see there's like a passport style player board or player card. You're going to punch those alert levels out or alibi levels out. You're going to put probably who you're playing as here, one of the characters. And then you have this is a player aid, nice player aid, round overview, possible actions that can be taken, all these different resource tracks, cards that will be placed down here. It's double-sided and just is, I think, really well laid out. And then you can see there's a whole bunch of these types of counters that represent, I believe, the pick up and deliver element, the objectives that you're trying to accomplish. So you're going to lose that many dollars or food or items or whatever it might be. Here's a token that says request. And then you can see here are some typewriters. So that might be an asset that you have to take somewhere. Here's a guard that is going to be hunting you down. There's another one of those identity player aids, different color. This one's purple. And there you can see I popped out the round circular items. So you're going to place some cylinders there. That's kind of nice. But you can see there's a lot. There's a couple more buildings here. You've got a railway station and a hairdresser. That's awesome. How many games have a hairdresser location? And then these are different resource tokens, action tokens, etc. So yeah, there's a lot here. And once again, there are 3 full counter sheets, all similarly laid out with different icons, tokens, markers. So there's a lot here. You're gonna get a lot of game for this, and hopefully, once again, hopefully it's very good, and I'm sure it's very, very good. I mentioned earlier, and I'm going to put those to the side because those were an expansion, that the game is based around cards. There are, as I mentioned, almost 200 cards here. Different sizes. You've got small cards, and these are very interestingly, rather than in plastic, and I don't know if this is a European thing, but it's somewhat of an environmental choice, right? You're wrapping it in paper, which is recyclable, rather than in plastic that we're going to throw away. But these are a certain different kind of cards. These are here are tickets, helpers. So these might be different characters that are going to help you along your missions. That's pretty cool. And then here you have identification or just little action cards. So those are the little ones. Now there's a whole bunch of larger, and I'm going to have trouble getting into these. These always give me trouble, it seems, opening cards and different plastic components. I always have trouble doing it. So give me a second. I'll rip this off. Yeah, I really like that they're wrapped in paper. We recycle in our household, and it's something I care deeply about, the environment. But these, lots of different cards. Once again, different types, different backs. So these are going to be, my guess, well, they look like they're almost a little narrative portion to the game with a whole bunch of symbols on there that represent the different actions. And then you've got some narrative that you're going to read. So it's going to kind of get you into the historiosity of the event. And once again, I think these are called, well, I meant to look at I'm going to look at the back of the box. I think these are, well, they're not scenario cards. That was the big one. Well, I'm not really sure, but there's a bunch of those. There looks to be about 100 of those. So those would be the 162, 63 by 88 bigger cards. And then I mentioned that some of these, this was somewhat of a little expansion that came to it. These cards go up to 70. I think these are numbered from 1 to 46. So these go from 47, there you can see, up to 70. So that gives you 70 different cards like this that are going to make the game more replayable, give it some variety. Oh, these are reference cards. These are like your player aids, which is good. You can see all the different symbols. So that's very nice. 2 more decks of cards that I'm not necessarily going to open up, but obviously you can see the game involves a lot of cards. Also really like this. I've started seeing these. These might be recycled. Yep, compostable, 100% compostable bag. I think that's kind of cool as well. Here, we'll put that over there. I'm going to obviously keep my pieces in it. Not sure what OZO stands for in Dutch, but very cool looking tile, orange brick, and that's going to go over here in these spaces along the outside of the board. I put it up there so that you could actually see it. There's another bag for components, a little bitty box that you're going to put maybe some of these wooden pieces in. And then you can see just a whole bunch of cylinders with an embossed undercover agent on those. That's a really, really nice touch. Very, very cool. Then you've got these meeples, numbered 1 through 5, I think. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 1 through 5. Those are going to represent, I think, the players on the board. You have some black cubes, wooden cubes, really small wooden cubes. And then once again, the thematic orange shall overcome orange wood light dice. I don't know if that's a good roll or not. Also in the box, it is cardboard. You're going to put your different components in these and then place the board and the other player aids on top. So very nicely made. Looks like a nice package that is going to hopefully be very, very fun. I unboxed this really quickly once we got it because I want to get on that video so that we can get that done. But I also am anxious to play this. So I'm going to try to read the rules this evening, and maybe we'll get to it this weekend or next weekend. And I'd love to play 2 or 3 of the scenarios, see how the game progresses, and then hopefully give our thoughts on it so that Marcel can use that as part of the preview campaign. So there you have it. Dutch Resistance, Orange Shall Overcome, a new game from Liberation Game Design by Marcel Kohler, a historical game, pick up and deliver, uses cards, wooden meeples, lots of tokens and counters. Very nice looking game. Very excited about this. We'll see how this goes, and I'll let you know what we think after we're done. So thank you. I do want to let you know that Marcel provided this copy to us at no cost, so we do appreciate that. I know that when the Kickstarter came a couple of years ago, we looked at it desperately, but we had to make a couple of other decisions about games that we wanted to have as well. So it just made it hard to, you just can't buy every game. But we're appreciative that he gave it to us, and glad that I was able to unbox this for you. We'll get it to the table and let you know how it goes. So I appreciate it. I've been Grant for the Player's Aid.